You woke up today and made a choice. What to wear, what to eat, whether to check your phone before your feet hit the floor. It felt like your decision. But what if the choice had already been made before you knew you were making it? In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet asked a question philosophers had argued about for centuries. When you decide to move your hand, what comes first? The decision or the brain activity behind it? Libet wired people to an EEG and asked them to flick their wrist whenever they felt the urge, then report the exact moment they felt it. He found a spike of brain activity called the readiness potential, appearing roughly 200 milliseconds before people felt the conscious urge to move. The brain acted first. The feeling of choosing came after. That's not long, but it rearranges the order of everything. Your conscious mind didn't start the decision. It got the memo a moment later and called it, "I chose this." Philosopher Daniel Dennett argued this doesn't disprove free will. The brain isn't separate from you, it is you. But in 2008, neuroscientist John Dylan Haynes pushed further. Using brain scans, his team predicted which hand a person would use to press a button up to 7 seconds before the person felt they had decided. 7 seconds of unconscious activity, quietly building an outcome you'd soon experience as spontaneous. Why would a brain work this way? Conscious thought is slow and expensive. Most of what kept your ancestors alive depended on speed, not reflection. A shadow, a sound, a decision to run before the word danger finished forming. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman spent his career studying this. He described two systems in the mind, one fast and automatic, one slow and deliberate. His research, much of it with Amos Tversky, showed the fast system does most of the work. The slow system mostly explains, after the fact, what's already been decided. This isn't only true for wrist flicks in a lab. It shows up where it matters most. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch gathered groups and asked an absurdly easy question. Which line matched a reference line in length? Obvious if you were alone, but Asch planted actors who confidently gave the wrong answer first. About 1 in 3 real participants changed their answer to match the group, even when their own eyes told them otherwise. They believed they were making an honest, independent judgment. They weren't. Invisible pressure had already shaped the answer. Now stretch that further. Your taste in music, your opinions, the choices you call yours. Decades of research suggest much of what feels like personal preference is shaped by packaging, framing, and the order options appear in, long before the moment you experience as deciding. So the real question isn't whether free will exists in some cosmic sense. It's this: how much of your choice comes from a reflective version of you, and how much was already moving? The readiness potential, the social pressure, the framing, before you ever felt the pull to decide. This doesn't mean you're a puppet or that effort is meaningless. It means the conscious you narrating your life is real, but not always first. Often it's a passenger reporting on a journey that began before it looked up. So ask a quieter question next time you feel a sudden craving or a flash of anger. Not what do I want, but where did this come from? Sometimes the honest answer is buried 7 seconds or 7 years in the past. Near the end of his life, Libet offered something close to hope. He proposed that even if an urge begins unconsciously, there may be a brief window after the urge appears but before the action happens, where you can consciously veto it. Not free will to start something, maybe something closer to free will to refuse it. That small window might be the most human thing about you. Not the speed of your first impulse, but the pause that sometimes interrupts it. You woke up today and made a choice. You still were, in some way, the one choosing. The only real question is how much of you had already decided before you ever felt yourself decide at all.